Hello, everybody. Welcome. I'm your host, Keith, the Man of Letters, here to bring you knowledge, information, and hopefully at the least a bit of entertainment. Happy to be back, hanging out with you guys, reading some more stories and whatnot. Again, we're going to be reading an excerpt from the Book of the Dead. Did I title this wrong? Text relating to the weighing of the heart of Ani. It's cool. We'll be hearing some words from Toth and some words from some other very interesting folks, and we're gonna do the usual dissecting, some loop swooping and pulling, and some dialogue from the squad. Kimberly, Nail, how's it going? Nakel, I say, what up? Nefertiti, can y'all please say a prayer? My daughter's godmother passed, and I'm not. Oh, Nefertiti. It's funny that you find yourself here, Nefertiti, because we're actually going to be reading about the weighing of hearts after one passes away. That's what tonight's reading is on more specifically. It's yeah, we're saying prayers. Maybe reading this will be a sort of prayer, because again, we're the first thing we're reading is the prayer of Ani, which is a praying for when someone dies. Talk about a coincidence, Nefertiti the goddess. Talk about a coincidence. That's awesome. Okay. We'll start in just a few minutes, you guys. Everyone hit the like button. Make sure the notification gets sent to as many people as possible. I just want to give folks a chance to jump into the room before we start. Sometimes it can take a while. So pour yourself a glass of water if you want. Roll up some oregano. I'll be burning with you. Pour yourself a glass of water. I might pour myself. I'm gonna pour myself a nice glass of rum. I've distilled my very first batch of rum, you guys. I'm excited to share it with you. I'm gonna share it with you tonight. I'm super excited to be doing that. So, you guys go ahead, take your shoes off, make yourself at home, stay a while. We'll start in just a few minutes. If you're listening to this after the live, go ahead and skip ahead. But yes, hold on. Nefertiti. Thank you, Nefertiti. I appreciate that. I appreciate the hell out of that. Thank you. Here's some homemade rum as a toast, an offering to the gods. We'll do this. We'll do tonight's reading in memory of Nefertiti's daughter's godmother. With some homemade black frankincense rum. Cheers, everybody. I don't know if you heard me. I forgot to turn the mute button off, but we're gonna dedicate tonight's reading to Nefertiti's loss and to all the other fallen homies. May your souls rest in peace. Cheers, everybody. Oh, Theodian. Cheers, brother. Whew. Strong. I haven't cut it. It's not cut. It's like I'm sipping on like 80% alcohol. Maybe 70%. I don't know. I didn't check it when I distilled it. I would like to make a donation for some pretend rum. Alchemy, of course. Alchemy, hit me up. I'll send you some frankincense molasses tincture. That's what we're calling it. We're calling it frankincense molasses tincture. I don't have much. I have a half gallon, and that's it. So any of you guys want to make a donation and receive some molasses frankincense tincture as a thank you, send me a message. Okay, that's about enough time, you guys. You think it's about enough time? We can go ahead and start the live now? During this, John Smith, you're pretty good at this, but if I have something weird's going on, glitching, the audio, the volume, this and that, some friends become enemies, some enemies become friends, just go ahead and let me know, Keith. Get your things together, it's messing up. Ooh, 9 viewers and 9 likes, hell yeah. Makes me happy. Raquel hace okay. Well, as per usual, thank you guys. I appreciate all of you that hit the like button. That really helps. Like I was saying earlier, it really helps the channel more than you guys realize. Shit, more than I realize probably. Anywho, let's begin. Shall we? Shall we, guys? Shall we begin? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thanks for coming out tonight. I am your host, Keith, your man of letters, here to bring you knowledge, information, and at the very least, a bit of entertainment. Thank you so much for being here. We're reading from the Egyptian Book of the Dead. We're going to hear about some Thoth, we're going to hear about some Osiris, we're going to hear about some hearts being weighed at the time of death. And I haven't read this, but I'm assuming what follows thereafter. We'll probably sing a hymn or two, worship a god or three, and merry-make amongst ourselves. What do you say? What do you say? What do you say? Oh. We begin with the texts relating to the weighing of the heart's ani. And let's actually do some research for the squad. Unless anybody else knows who Ani is, I think it's Osiris, but I could be wrong. I just want to give people some context. It really helps us wrap our heads around what the hell is going on. It's the papyrus of Ani, but some people say that Thoth wrote the Egyptian Book of the Dead. I believe that's the standing mythology, is Thoth wrote the Book of the Dead. Oh yeah, we're going to be talking about Anubis, who is referred to as the Dweller, the first person in the Book of the Dead to be referred to as the Dweller. As in the Dweller of Unal is Anubis. That's a connection I hadn't made before. Well, unless someone in the room helps us out, I'm not sure. It means me in Hebrew. The Book of Me. Alright, that gives a little bit of context. So here we go. So this is the names of the gods of the great company, those who were here at this seating. Ra Harmakas, the great god in his boat. Temu, Shu, Tefnut, Keb, Nut, the lady of heaven. Isis, Nephthys, Horus, the great god. Hathor, lady of Amentet, Hu, and Sa. The prayer of Ani. My heart, my mother, my heart, my mother. My heart, whereby I came into being, may not stand up to oppose me at my judgment. May there be no opposition to me in the presence of the chiefs. May there be no parting or thee from me in the presence of him that keepeth the balance. Thou art my Ka, which dwelleth in my body, the god Kenmu, who knitteth together and strengthen my limbs. Mayest thou come forth into the place of happiness whither we go. May the Shenyu officials, who make the conditions of the lives of men, not cause my name to stink. And may no lies be spoken against me in the presence of the god. Let it be satisfactory unto us, and let the listener God be favorable unto us. And let there be joy of heart at the weighing of the words. Let not that which is false be uttered against me before the great God, the Lord of Amentet. Verily, how great shalt thou be when thou riseth in triumph. The speech of Thoth. Thoth, the judge of right and the truth of the great company of the gods who are in presence of Osiris, said, Hear this judgment. The heart of Osiris hath in very truth been weighed, and his heart soul hath borne testimony on his behalf. His heart hath been found right by the trial in the great balance. There hath not been found any wickedness in him. He had not wasted the offerings which had been made in the temples. He had not committed any evil act, and he has not set his mouth in motion with words of evil whilst he was upon the earth. Now, the speech of the dweller in the embalmment chamber, Anubis. Pay good heed, O righteous judge, to the balance to support the testimony thereof. Variant. Pay good heed to the weighing and the balance of the heart of Osiris, the singing woman of Amen, on high, whose word is truth. And place thou her heart in the great seat of truth, in the presence of the great God. Now the speech of the gods. The great company of the gods say to Thoth, who dwelleth in Kenmenu, That which cometh forth from thy mouth shall be declared true. The Osiris, the scribe Ani, whose word is true, who is wholly righteous, he hath not committed any sin, and he hath done no evil against us. The devourer, Amit, shall not be permitted to prevail over him. Meat offerings and admittance into the presence of the god Osiris shall be granted unto him, together with an abiding habitation and the field of offerings, Seket Hetepet, as unto the followers of Horus. I wish I spoke Egyptian. It would be so convenient to speak ancient Egyptian. Maybe by the time I finish the homemades, we'll be able to speak some ancient Egyptian. What do you guys say? The great balance is Ma'at. Yeah, Ma'at is the at least one of the wives of Thoth. Is that why she's called the god of balance? Because she's there in the weighing of hearts with Thoth as he goes over the Book of the Dead at the end. Damn, 21. Oh, there was 21 viewers, 21 likes, and $21 in the chat revenue for a second there. 21, 21, 21. All right, let us continue. The speech of Horus to Osiris in introducing Ani to him. Horus, the son of Isis, said, I have come to thee, O Un-Nefer, and I have brought unto thee the Osiris Ani. His heart is righteous, and it had come forth from the balance. It had not sinned against any god or any goddess. Thoth hath weighed it according to the decree pronounced unto him by the company of the gods, and it is most true and righteous. Grant thou that cakes and ale may be given unto him, and let him appear in the presence of the god Osiris, and let him be like unto the followers of Horus forever and ever. And the speech of Ani. And the Osiris Ani said, Behold, I am in thy presence, O Lord of Amtet. There is no sin in my body. I have not spoken that which is not true knowingly, nor have I done anything with a false heart. Grant thou that I may be unto those favored ones, who are in thy following, and that I may be an Osiris, greatly favored of the beautiful God, and beloved of the Lord of the two lands. I who am a veritable royal scribe who loveth thee, Ani, whose word is true before the god Osiris. Now we see the beast Ammit. This is the description of the beast Ammit. Short. Her forepart is like that of a crocodile. The middle of her body is like that of a lion. Her hind quarters are like those of a hippopotamus. Alright, here begin the praises and glorifyings of coming out from and the going into the glorious, which is in the beautiful Amentet, of coming forth by day in all the forms of existence which it may please the deceased to take, of playing at draughts, of sitting in the Sehal, and of appearing as a living soul. The Osiris, the scribe Ani, said after he had arrived in his heaven of rest, Now it is good for a man to recite this work while he is upon earth, nor then all the words of Tem come to pass. I am the god Tem in rising, I am the only one. I came into existence in Nu. I am Ra, who rose in the beginning, the ruler of this creation. Who is this? It is Ra. When, at the beginning, he rose in the city of Hensu, crowned like a king for his coronation. The pillars of the god Shu were not as yet created. When he was upon the steps of him that dwelleth in the Kemenu, I am the great God who created himself, even Nu, who made his names to become the company of the gods as gods. Asked, who is this? It is Ra, the creator of the names of his limbs, which came into being in the form of the gods who are in the train of Ra. I am he who cannot be repulsed among the gods. Who is this? It is Temu, the dweller in his disk. But others say that it is Ra when he rises in the eastern horizon of the sky. I am yesterday. I know today. Who is this? Yesterday is Osiris and today is Ra, when he shall destroy the enemies of Neb-Tetcher, the lord of the uttermost limit, and when he shall establish as prince and ruler his son Horus. Others, however, say that today is Ra, on the day when we commemorate the festival of the meeting of the dead Osiris with his father Ra, and when the battle of the gods was fought in which Osiris, the lord of Amentet, was the leader. This is, where are we at? Go forward, go forward, go forward. There was a key of names at the beginning of this. I forgot to mention the beginning of the Book of the Dead. It mentions that the names of the gods are used as like the OG Old Kingdom names for the gods. So a lot of these names that we're hearing and cities that we're hearing are super random ancient Egyptian words that don't have any historical ties anymore, which makes things real difficult in understanding context. So let me see. You guys still there with me? I guess you might just have to push on regardless. Well, following, what is this? It is Amentet, the creation of the souls of the gods when Osiris was leader in Set Amentet. Others, however, say that it is Amentet which Ra hath giveth unto me. When any god cometh, he must rise up and fight for it. I know the God who dwelleth therein. Here begin the praises and glorifyings of coming out from and of going into the glorious Ket Neter, which is in the beautiful Amentet, of coming forth by day in all forms of existence, which it may please the deceased to take, of playing at draughts, of sitting in the Seh hall, and of appearing as a living soul. The Osiris scribe Ani hath arrived in his haven of rest. I was wondering why I was confused. I ended the hymn of the weighing of the heart of Ani, and we went into like a presentation of the entire pantheon and how many different names they have for themselves. I'm not an Egyptologist, but it seems there's like 2 or 3 different origin stories for each of the gods. Like Thoth, for example, some stories say that he was born of like his brother Set, who had semen thrown in his face or some shit like that. Some say that he was self-made. He wasn't even worshipped as a god after the original Old Kingdom. That was a bunch of stuff. Anywho, we finished the hymn, or the weighing of the hearts, and I might pick up that next chapter when I can find some more references to the old gods' names and whatnot. Drops of blood which came forth from the phallus of Ra, went he forth to perform his own mutilation. These drops of blood sprang into being under the forms of the gods who, and Sa, who are in the bodyguard of Ra, and to accompany the god Tem daily and every day. You know what else we'll do? What the hell is that? Egyptian. I was trying to find a hymn to the dead in ancient Egypt and finish it with a hymn to honor the fallen of the squad, but can't find one. Someone help me out. What is blood is life force, brother, in alchemy. Blood is life force. Blood is it's part of the electromagnetic field. The blood is what drives the electromagnetic field in alchemy. It's your blood contains iron. At the core of every red blood cell is a iron element, and the circulation of that metal, the circulation of the blood, in other words, creates an electromagnetic field. That's how your EM field is produced in your body. That's how any electromagnetic field is. And your field is the thing that both projects and receives. Projects from the North Pole and receives from the South Pole. It's the driving mechanism. The blood is the driving mechanism of existence, really. It's at least on the physical plane, that's what it is. There was, I know, as far as there's a few different stories. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a shit ton of stories. I haven't read a ton of ancient Egyptian mythology, but the spreading the semen to birth entities and other people is that's sort of what the masculine seed does. It contains that information that you can shoot into different things, and plant the seed, both, but on each plane, I guess you could say. Much where everyone was shooting their seeds at each other because it was how to get inside of someone. We influence people through our fields, right? The information exchanges. But if you can get inside of someone, you can influence them that much better. Think like I think Q talks about this too. What did Q? I don't know if you guys follow Q Reeves, but he talks about that too. I don't want to quote him; I might ruin it. But there's something to be said about planting seeds of information inside of other people, because what do seeds do? They grow. So if you can plant a seed, you can grow it. And the thing about seeds is they can be insidious. They get planted in darkness, which means you can't see them necessarily when they sprout. So their seeds are very hidden until they actually break the surface, and by then they've already taken root. But for the most part, that's what we're talking about when we're talking about blood. Hi! Hi! I should have mixed this. Why didn't I mix this? I was trying to be way too gangster with this. Yeah, hopefully the screen's not messing up for you guys. A seed is information. The information needs a body to become animate. Yes, the seed needs the vessel. The feminine receptacle is needed by the seed. And it's really the vessel that does 90% of the labor as far as growing that seed. But a woman with her womb, the earth, you put a seed in the earth and the seed sprouts, but it's the earth that's providing all the nutrients to the seed, the space in the home, the relationship with other organisms. It all happens through the medium of that female vessel. That's why they say space. That's why space is dark, because it's a vacuum. It is the container for which all things rest in. You shoot out thought, the masculine penetrating thought that penetrates into and then fills the void with different things. Smith is messaging me about the issues. Let me log off. Stream with. It could be hellish. People are probably streaming right now. There's not much I can do. Are we struggling with the live still, people? Nyakuma. That was a pretty aggressive question. I guess the white people will disappear when the black people disappear, because the only reasonable way for white people to disappear is if they breed with black people. But then black people will become lighter and light people will become darker, and you'll get a sort of hybrid race, which is what all life does. It hybridates and evolves. So I don't think, unless you're insisting like genocide, then that's one of the only ways that's gonna happen. Yeah. How are the connection issues still bad? Oh, you guys all see it fine? Maybe. I'm not sure. Okay, as long as the voice is coming through clear. If the visual keeps, if the visual stays tainted, just turn it off. Just pull up a screen of a Egyptian pyramid and stare at it or something. The show must go on. I wonder if the Egyptians smoked dank. I wonder if the Egyptians smoked that oregano. That's what I would like to know. Shargeen. Shargeen, everyone say hello and thank you to Shargeen Zangana, because he's developing a website for me for the whole channel, and is really going to step our professionalism game, and it's going to be sweet. It's going to be so nice. I'm so excited. And then all you guys who run your own businesses and do your own things, please support the squad. Hit up your boy Shargeen. So if you guys are thinking about making websites, if you have one you want it redone, I'm sure he does a whole bunch of other cool things. Hit him up, send him a message, or get his information or something like that. Because he's already been a delight to work with. Yeah, while playing the parachute game. Mirror Man, why do we all say hello? I don't know. Even back in England, the old school, they used to say hail. Hail! Which is also close to hell. I don't know. I have no idea why we say hello. The Egyptians had better stuff? What? What did the Egyptians have? Lotus? We're going to find out right now. What? PSCHE did ancient Egyptians use? Some scholars believe the ancient Egyptians grew psilocybin mushrooms on barley, and that the Eye of Horus may have been the cap of an entheogenic mushroom. Interesting. I like that one. Opium, there you go, flourished under the reign of King Tutankhamun, which is actually a legal plant. You guys should all grow opium if you don't have addiction problems. I'm sorry. No one should do anything. No one should do anything. Don't listen to me. However, for the common person, I would like to say passively that it's probably not a bad idea to have some opium plants growing around in case you have some end of the world stuff going on and you need some pain medication. Because the plant is legal. It is a legal plant, you guys. And you don't have to synthesize or add chemicals or process the plant in order to experience its potent effects. I'm not advocating the use of any plants, whether or not they are legal. I'm just giving out information for information's sake, so that you all can be educated on your plants. But yeah, I think it's called bread something. What's the plant name of the opium poppy? Papaver somniferum. That's what it is. Papaver somniferum. You guys have probably, if you ever walk through your seed packet aisles at Green Thumb or whatever, and you see all the different cool flowers in the flower section, you've probably stared straight at this flower 1,000 times and never realized that you were staring at the opium flower. Where is... What the heck? This is the plant name, you guys. You aren't allowed to say hello if you are a part of the United Nation of Islam. Good thing I'm not a part of the Islamic Nation of Islam. Because I say hello quite often. It also sounds like Halo. Here's the thing. You guys want to hear what's up when it comes to words? Alright? I know a lot of people say that spelling is magic and words are magic and magic and words are magic and speak things into existence. Words are magic, words are magic, words are magic. Words aren't magic. Words are not magic. Letters are not magic. How people say things. Okay, now with that being said, here's my point. Let's say there's a Chinese, you guys know Dr. Emoto, right? He did the studies where he froze water molecules with different words next to the water molecules, and depending upon the word, the molecule would take a sort of coherent, very symmetrical shape. And if it was Hitler or hate, the water crystals would be undefined. They would look like shit, in other words. Well, what that train of thought always leaves out at the very end of that is that it's not necessarily the words that's causing that reaction. It's what we have implanted into the word. Remember we were talking about the semen, the seed earlier? There has been a seed of thought implanted into the words that give them their power. The words are arbitrary. They're meaningless. They're letters, and the letters are meaningless. The letters are just some scribbles that we decided, hey, A makes an ah sound. And if you put EAT, that spells eat because of these rules that we made up, and eat means to put something in your mouth, and that thing description we sort of made up. So let me give you an example. Take the Chinese character for happiness. So, since it's just like a bunch of scratches and sticks, let's say you have chickens walking in the sand, and for some ungodly reason, the chicken scratch looked like the Chinese character for happiness. That symbol has no meaning to it. It's just a random assortment of characters, no meaning put into it at all. If a Chinese person sees it, what will reflect in the Chinese person's head is happiness, because it recognizes that word as happiness. Therefore, what ignites in their brain is happiness and all the things associated with happiness, which will actually release hormones in your body, because your thoughts can affect your body, right? So let's say that same symbol, but you show an American person who doesn't speak Chinese, and you go, hey, this symbol means hatred. It means I hate you. And the person goes, damn, that's what that symbol looks like? And they go, yeah, it means I hate you. Hatred, I hate you. It's like hate. And the person instills that thought. They see that symbol that actually means happiness in Chinese, but they see it as hate, because that's what they've been taught. So they see the symbol, which has no meaning, and then they go, oh, that's hatred. That's I hate you specifically. Like, fuck, that's a heavy ass word. And if you were to hook these people up to those monitors that measure frequency and brainwaves, there would be a extreme difference in the reaction, the actual physical brain chemistry of the two people, the one that looked at hate and the one that looked at happiness or love. And that's what I mean by it's not the words that in and of themselves have magic. It's not the spelling that has magic. It's the association we attach to those words that give it meaning. You know what I mean? Because there's 1,000 different words for the same thing depending upon the culture. So it must be subject to change. It has to be subject to change. There's an underlying frequency that does not change. Right? That is the objective part. There is a feeling of hatred and a feeling of love that we recognize regardless of what you want to call it, in whatever language you want to call it. That's the thing that stays stationary. But we control the words. You know what I mean? We plant that seed. We apply the information into things, because that's sort of what our role is as conscious entities. Like, humans are more consciously evolved than rocks, because while rocks have a certain type of consciousness, it's not one that can reflect like humans can. Um, Separate kind of consciousness. So, um, why did we get onto that? Oh, because someone was saying, "Oh, you're not allowed to say these words because these words are bad." You know what I mean? And again, it's no, they're not. I know I'm speaking out on a whole nation of Islam, but it's by saying, even by saying you guys aren't allowed to say this word gives that word a tremendous amount of power. Why? If the word didn't mean anything, it wouldn't be forbidden. So the moment you say that, stay away from that word is the most evil thing you can say. That word goes, oh shit, me? Like, yeah, that's right, bitches. How dare you mention my name in my presence? That's what you do to the word. It's like it becomes this elevated pedestaled god that holds power over an entire people. Like, get the fuck out of here. I say whatever I want. Like, all you're saying is that word has more power than I do. By saying, oh, you can't say hello, or oh, I don't like using that word because it disempowers me. Like, you disempower yourself. Your thoughts disempower yourself. Your beliefs disempower yourself. I don't want to completely negate external forces. I don't want to completely say that the external world cannot influence you, because that would be a lie also. The saying goes, as above, so below, as below, so above. Both worlds reflect each other. So, of course, you know what I mean. I'm not saying words don't hurt. Like, if someone's bullying you as a kid, like, there was a certain amount of subjectivity in these instances where it's like, the dynamic is crazy, but at the end of the day, mind is the origin of thoughts. We can't change how we feel about things overnight. That is a curse and a blessing. Be thankful that that's there, because if that wasn't there, we would have no foundation to operate through the world. We would be completely passive, completely wishy-washy, unoriented. We would be useless, in other words. So it's a good thing that we don't just change our feelings and change our minds instantly. These things are a process, but the first goal is to acknowledge that the power resides in you, and that you can, with training, rewire your brain. There's a whole subject of science devoted to it. It's called, I believe it's called neuroplasticity, and they're showing physically the brain reroutes its circuits, the neurons, the way that information travels through the brain. It unhooks and it rearranges over here to make shit more efficient, to make thinking more efficient. It's not easy, but it's doable. Like, read some books on that shit if you want some inspiration on how to rework your brain. I haven't read Joe Dispenza, but from what people are posting on him and like the one-liners that I'm getting hit with from Joe Dispenza, I think he's a practitioner of neuroplasticity. But yeah, it's glitching because Babylon's trying to hold me back, man. But it can't. Babylon can't hold me back. Can't hold it back. Jerry E. Words are a part of the greater group consciousness, but you can partition yourself off from that to create your own personal reality. All curses and spells don't work on everyone for this fact. Damn, Jerry E. Beautifully said. Oh my goodness. Yes. That's where I kind of caught myself and I put my foot in my mouth, because I don't want to give the impression that words don't mean anything and words can't affect anything. Like, they can and they can't, because if like Jerry E just said, you have a global consciousness. Because if my consciousness can affect the external reality, then so can yours. And if we have 8 billion people all affecting reality, and 8 billion people giving power to one word, then that word is going to have tremendous power. But only because we've agreed to that power. That's the sort of catch-22. It's, yeah, the word has nothing without us, but if only 1 out of 100 people deny that word, then the one person's kind of fucked. Again, unless the one person is extremely powerful in his will, um, has control. He is just a well-balanced person. Toth talks about that shit all the time. Only the person that is balanced will move on. Only the person that is balanced will get past the guards at the gate, will get past the archons at the gate. You know what I mean? So it's our interpretation of the words that give them magic. Yes. Absolutely. Sound is the sprinkle of magic. That was pretty. I like that, Yesenia. I like that a lot. Reading your guys' comments. Alchemy, I'm curious why you said we need both the words and the intention for it to be so. Why do we need the words? Why do we need the words? Is intention and thought and action not enough? Do we need the words? I'm not going against you, but I am playing devil's advocate because that's a good. I'm glad you said that. That got my mind spinning. Words are magic. Hello, Vikalin Abdullah. How you guys doing? Good evening, you guys. Yes, but perhaps not only you that gives it power, but very powerful beings from other realms that have changed that particular symbol with meaning. There's also more nuance to this. Yeah, Mirror Man. Maybe I did oversimplify a little. There's always... Trust me that I never intend to speak in ultimatums, you guys. If I ever sound like I'm coming off speaking as an ultimatum, like, this is the way always and forever, definitely not. Because everything that I just said right now, you can throw it out the window on certain occasions. Like we can plant seeds and set them in motion without them being unhindered by other people's thoughts. Like you can manipulate a symbol, and which is a word. Words are a symbol is anything that stands for something else. So words are symbols too. So you can say a word to someone, like say you're flirting with a woman, and you're like, what can I say to like, I don't know if you guys think like this, but I'm like, what seed can I plant? You know what I mean? Like, what can I say that's really gonna like not be too obvious, but will trigger something, you know? And it's sometimes it's not even what you say, it's how you say it or when you say it, or what you're doing while you're saying it. Like, there's so many different ways where you can plant a seed in a word or in a gesture or something that will instigate an emotional reaction later on. Because that's all we're doing to one another. You're sitting at home and something triggers you to think about someone else. That's because a seed has been planted. You know what I mean? It's tricky. It's a straight up cat and mouse game. Like, you can influence the word. I'm not saying that they... I guess once those symbols have been triggered, or once those symbols have been created and impregnated with that information of whatever it is, that it will reverberate that into the world. You know what I mean? Like, back in the day, people used to boil water by throwing hot stones into it. You'd get a burning hot stone out of the fire, throw it in the water, and after so many stones, the water would start to boil because all the steam from the stones heated up the water. You can do that with words and symbols. Plant them with information, cast them out into the world, and have them sort of radiate out into their surrounding areas to do whatever you want them to do. Advertisers do this shit all the time. But yeah, it's more nuanced than how I made it out to be at first. I just started preaching a bit because I get carried away. My bad. The words are the structure, aka masculine energy. Yay, well said, Alchemy. Intentions are the feminine energy. Absolutely. Absolutely. Crying is such an amazing way our body can tell us something true about something inside us. You know, there's a lot easier way to find out something's true using your body other than making yourself cry. Because that can awfully be dramatic or unnecessary for all things you're trying to figure out. Anywho, some of you guys are reading the book along with the book club, which is Power versus Force, and they do that. It's a study in kinesiology where you hold your arm up, ask a question. If your arm goes weak when someone pushes on it, it's false. If it stays strong, it's true. And that's a huge oversimplification of it, but it's also at the end of the day what you do, and they're doing it with empirical evidence. So they're getting people from all over the world, all walks of life, regardless of philosophy, regardless of religion, regardless whether they believe in a god or don't, regardless of gender, race, class, ethnicity, everything. These tests that they're doing on people are unanimous. It's wild. And this guy, who wrote the book Power versus Force, is explaining that in his book. So, for example, you say, my name is Keith, and someone would push on my arm and it would stay strong because my name is Keith. My name is John, my arm would go weak because my name's not John. The body has this sort of physical reaction to lies and truth, but it works for things that we don't have the answers for, which is crazy. So you can ask any question really at will and have an answer for it. Not that there's anything bad with crying. I didn't mean to hate on crying, but it's just like there's got to be an easier way of pulling up truth from the body without, because crying is usually a pretty traumatic event. You know what I mean? Extreme happiness, extreme anger, extreme sadness. And we would like to be able to tap into truth without going to the extremes, you know what I mean? So that's just another option. You guys should check it out. I'm not done with the book yet. It's a really good book. It's a really good book. My name is John. What up, John? Yesenia, you can do that with your fingers too. That's what she said. Sorry, I know. I'm way too old to be using that joke. But to be fair, I will be using that joke until the day I die. I feel lighter after I cry. Yeah. Same, Elemental. Well, shall we carry on the live or shall we run it about? Aw. Is it an exciting Saturday? At least for you guys. Mine's been pretty chill. I read some Book of the Dead, hung out with the squad, drank some of the rum. Cool thing about the rum though is, I mean, I'm drinking it on ice, so it's pretty stiff. But it doesn't seem any stronger than like 40%, your regular 40% rum. Like it does, but it's also not as strong as you would expect it to be at the same time. It's interesting. It's pretty interesting. Raquel, you want to read some more? That next chapter was long as fuck. And I don't know if I'm down to read that whole thing, that whole next chapter. It's like, yeah, it's pretty long. Let's maybe some Napoleon Hill. She man. Definiteness of purpose. Man. We were actually talking about this recently. I'm going to read this chapter. Wait a minute. Where's the definiteness of purpose at? You're killing me. The law of he even talks about the law of compensation, which is directly out of the Kabbalion. That's wild, man. Alright, I'm gonna find. Alright, we're going to read the definiteness of purpose, and then we'll end it on that. So everybody in the room, if you just checked in, if you do me a huge, solid, por favor, senor y senoritas, hit the like button so we can get this video out to more of the squad. And so I can fulfill my lifelong dream of building both a geodesic dome and a pyramid on my 10-acre property. I shit you not, that's one of my long-term goals. And I could see it crystal clear in my head, so I got a good feeling about it. But yeah, like the video, share, subscribe. Definiteness of purpose. Let me check, make sure before we start. Jerry E, we'll answer that question in a second. Hold on, let me. Also, we have 27 battery left. Someone remind me so I don't kill it. Here we go. Definiteness of purpose. Napoleon Hill, author of Think and Grow Rich, which is a staple of self-improvement, entrepreneur, business grind, hustle bustle, fucking alpha male lifestyle. But however, Napoleon Hill was a gangster. He was an OG occult gangster, and he was on one. You guys should really pay attention to what he has to say. Oh my God, should you guys pay attention to what he has to say? Okay. Definiteness of purpose. The starting point. I'll give him his old throwback 20s voice too. Definiteness of purpose. The starting point of all achievement, definiteness of purpose, knowing what your goal is, knowing what you want, fills you with a success consciousness and protects you against failure. Exercise. Decide on a major goal in your life, either personal or professional. How much time will you give yourself to achieve this goal? How will you know that you have achieved it? Is your success measurable, attainable? Write out your goal in a clear, concise, positive manner. Transfer it to a 3x5 card, place it in your office and home where you will see your goal several times a day. So successful people move on their own initiative, but they know where they are going before they start. We're going to get into the mastermind principle, which I've talked about 100 times on this channel, but you're going to hear it from the man himself. The coordination of effort between two or more people in a spirit of perfect harmony in order to attain a specific objective. I'm going to say that again. The mastermind principle is the coordination of effort between two or more people in a spirit of perfect harmony in order to attain a specific goal. Exercise. Keeping in mind the steps for creating a mastermind group given below. List the people who can help you reach a goal, as well as the ways in which each can help you. Adopt a definite purpose with an objective to be attained by the alliance. Determine what appropriate benefit each member may receive in return for his cooperation in the alliance, and see that he/she gets it. Establish a plan through which each member makes a definite contribution. Ensure that harmony prevails in the group. Remember that your watchword is definiteness of plan and purpose. Calculate the number of individuals in the group by the nature of the purpose to be attained. No man can become a permanent success without taking others along with him. Hey, Native Peacemaker, what's cracking? Evening, Jenny Pete. Nice to have you guys here. Cheers. Cheers. Yeah, everybody go check out Native Peacemakers live after this. Yeah, you guys, I can't. Napoleon Hill doesn't say this. I'm taking a little bit of poetic license here, but the mastermind, picture it, because it is a conscious mind separate from the minds that are involved in it, but also a accumulation of all of them. This is what's created when two people come together, two or more people come together. Now, all the things that we just read assure that the goal is met. You give as much as you take. Actually, you give more than what you take, because if you give more, the law of compensation kicks in. The law of compensation, if you guys know from Hermetics, from the Kabbalion, says that nature balances. As high as the pole swings to the left is as high as the pole swings to the right. So if you go the extra mile, if you go above and beyond the call, you're setting the pole higher on your side, so that when the pendulum swings back in the other direction, it has to be compensated. That is why it's so important to go the extra mile. And the way that manifests is infinite. New job opportunity, a raise, maybe you'll even get fired. Maybe getting fired is the rightful compensation, because it opens up an avenue for something that's more aligned to your values. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm just shooting from the hip here, but where's Napoleon Hill at? I lost him. Oh wait, applied faith. No, that was it. That was the first principle, was definiteness of purpose. The second is applied faith, I think. We'll do applied faith because that one's ties together. Plus, it's really good. Applied faith, a state of mind through which your aims, desires, plans, and purposes are translated into their physical or financial equivalent. I'll repeat. Applied faith is a state of mind through which your aims, desires, plans, and purposes are translated into their physical or financial equivalent. So an exercise would be, what affirming statements, what beliefs do you feel you must have faith in before you can reach your goal? These statements can refer to yourself, your fellow citizens, or the universe, and accompanying creators, if you will, at large. In other words, you can do it if you believe you can. Therefore, what's going to make you believe you can do it? That's the fucking most important part. It's like, this is why I get so frustrated with modern spirituality, modern spiritual practices, is because it gives us this almost unbalanced, oversimplified version of manifestation, which says you have to be completely passive, like you completely let yourself go with the wind, like just let go and let God at all times. Um, and that doesn't that do, if your goal is nothing, then for sure, like of course that would work. Um, but like, say heaven forbid you do have a goal. Heaven forbid you do want to build a pyramid that matches the same geometry to the one in Egypt, so you can do crazy magic shit inside. Say you want to grow your own rainforest, right? You do want these things. You want to save the world, end hunger, clean up the plastic in the ocean. You know what I'm saying? Um, if or just buy a house for your family. Like, we need a definiteness of purpose. We need a goal, and we need something to aim for. That way that when we sit down Sunday night with our shoes off, with a glass of wine, we can really enjoy that fucking glass of wine, because we know we've carved something out for ourselves. I've gotten closer to providing for my family. I've gotten closer to growing my forest. I've gotten closer to starting my business. I've gotten closer to starting my YouTube channel. I've gotten closer to breaking 50K with my clients this year. Like, whatever it is. I don't know. A lot of the, I guess you could say, a lot of the jargon I've come across, or a lot of like the philosophies I've come across, have been very like very hands off, very soft, very hands off, very soft, very passive, very flowy. All wonderful traits. I'm not negating those traits. I'm saying that their opposites have at least seem like they've been avoided, or I don't know what it is. I've talked about this a lot on my channel, on how there seems to be an imbalance of the qualities of energy that are bouncing around the spiritual world, which doesn't necessarily seem to be balanced. But yeah, anywho, with the applied faith thing, the 17 laws of success to be successful in something, we have to have that mastermind group, and we have to have the applied faith. Applied being the key word. So faith is the passiveness, but application is the active part. You know, it's both qualities of energy blended together. A state of mind through which your aims, desires, plans, and purposes are translated into their physical or financial equivalent. You know, it's easy to want a bunch of things, and it's hard to dedicate even an hour straight. Like, put your phone on airplane mode and put an hour timer on, and tell yourself that you're going to create a business plan. You're going to create a detailed step-by-step on how you're going to achieve whatever goals on your mind. Money, weight loss, whatever it is. Okay, I'm going to do, every week I'm going to do these things, and each day I'm going to do this. Like, write something out deep for an hour. Don't stop. Just don't watch TV, don't text, don't look outside, don't wipe your ass, don't do anything. Do nothing but focus on your goal for an hour and detail it out. Detail it out by hand. But be manageable. Like, make it attainable. The first couple things, like, make a phone call a day. That's easy. Send 6 emails a day. That's doable. Respond to all your emails. That's doable. You know what I mean? What happens is we're able to take this idea and we're able to apply it. The idea is the faith. The application is the action you're doing to give it. It needs a fucking channel. Like, it needs a road to get from there to here. It doesn't just appear magically. You know what I mean? It's not fucking Harry Potter, for crying out loud. Like, We live in the third dimension, and we have to give it a third dimensional vehicle to get here. That's the applied part of the applied faith. That's where our belief comes from. That's where our confidence comes from. That's where our momentum comes from. We're at 15%. My computer's going to die soon. Jenny Pete, it's my rum. Yes, it is. It's the homemade. What up? It's actually a fermented molasses tincture is what we're drinking. It's not rum. It's a fermented black molasses, frankincense, raw cane sugar tincture. Just do it. Oh, native peacemaker. Cheers. Are we sharing a glass? Who else is sharing a glass out there? I can't be the only one out here. Alchemy says, yeah, that is that religious mentality, the let go and let God. It's like saying, oh, trust and it will happen. But if it requires also action, which everything does to a degree, it negates masculine energy. Well said, Alchemy. Well said. Tangible, calculated work time. I'm at 13%. Hold on, I gotta plug my computer in. Oh. Ooh, that's new, pussycat. Ooh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh my god. I'm in a... Oh my god, it's hilarious. They have new potty training toilet seats. Oh, that's hilarious. They have these little practice peeing things. You pee on them and like it catches the pee and it spins a little dial and it's like you pee into a frog thing, like a frog urinal. Like you aim for things in it that do cool things when you hit it, like being at Chuck E. Cheese with the little water squirters. Oh, it's not charging. What the hell? We might have to end this. I don't know why it's not charging. We're at 12%, you guys. Wheatley organic vodka. Yeah, you have water in your glass, John Smith, but we can't cheers to that. You can't cheers alcohol and water. It's bad luck. Don't you put that juju on me, Smith. Just kidding. Cheers, everyone. I'm drinking distilled water too, actually. It's only like 70% rum, so the other 30% is distilled water. Nice. What the hell? Why isn't this thing charging? That's such a bummer. Are you guys getting ads right now? If I click insert ad, do you guys get an ad? Anywho, y'all. I guess I'll be calling it Native Peacemaker if you're still here. We're still here. I can't talk right now. The rum's catching up to me. If you are still present, Native Peacemaker, post a link to your YouTube channel, and if anyone else feels like sticking around, and they can head on over to yours. Jenny P, why distilled water? On that note, thank you everybody for being here. We have more likes in the room than viewers. That means even the people who took off with the like button. Thanks, you guys. That was awesome. I really appreciate that. The channel's growing, you guys. I'm super excited. The channel is at, I think it's almost at 12K, you guys. We're like 11.6 thousand subscribers right now. We've gotten like 2,000 subscribers in the past couple weeks. Shit's crazy. I'm super excited. You guys should look up Google Springs. There's a website that has a map of all the springs in the country, and it's constantly being updated with people as they find springs. They put it on this map. It's really cool, and you can find. It's good to know where all the local springs are in case a time of catastrophe, because spring water is pure, as you guys know, because it's constantly coming up from the earth. It's being purified as it passes through the crust. Whoa. So, yeah, keep an eye out for that. Still yuck. I didn't know distilled water had. I have a still out back. I'm gonna start distilling my own water, yo. That's good to know. I didn't know that, Alchemy. I didn't know that. I'll start making my own. Maybe I can sell glasses of Man of Letters distilled water. Start my own water distillation facility. That sounds dope, actually. Maybe I will do that. Maybe I will do that. Oh, Nefertiti, you're still here? Thanks for still being here. Also, there is the juice from the trees. Yeah, if you're drinking juice from, like, if you're drinking an orange juice, I would imagine water doesn't get more pure than being sucked up through the roots of a tree and spit out into a tasty ass orange. You know what I mean? Water, right? That has to be some of the purest water on the planet. There you go. Yeah, findaspring.com. Maybe they'll have one for your country as well. I'm not sure. Yeah, I have glass. That's all I store things in. Always on that glass life. Plug it in, plug it in. Alright, you guys. I'm out of here, though. We're at 5%, and I might play some video games with my brother. Might hang out. Might see if my little boy is up. Maybe he'll feel like running around the living room like a madman. Thanks, everyone, for being here. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for contributing. Thanks for sharing. Nefertiti, thank you for the donation. A ton. Nefertiti, that was my largest donation to date. Everyone tell Nefertiti the goddess that she's a true MVP because she donated $19.99 to the squad. Also, give her your condolences because one of her close ones passed, and that's who tonight's video and reading from the Book of the Dead was for. And Theodian Freeman, thank you too. I don't know if you're still here, but thank you as well. Peace and love, Smith. Hope you and the missus are doing well and enjoying yourselves. Staying comfy. Mirror Man, Jenny Pete. What else we got? Is that it? Whoever's, all you other 24 in here hanging out. Native Peacemaker, if you're still here. Laters.